Hello and welcome back to the Marketplace by Night. I have found another fountain, and this will be the setting for our level 12 episode of Purple Does Potions. The Marketplace has changed quite a bit since I was last here for a video. I think we were in the middle of the Illithid invasion and struggling so badly against those psionic champions. Happily for us, they are not a part of this one. And we just took level 12, which means alarm bells are ringing for our opponents. We had 2 feats this time, because every 4 levels the Alchemist gets a bonus feat. So Liquid Luck we took for the bonus feat, which gives us evasion, and given that our reflex save in Reaper, you can't really see it here, but in Reaper, because of the enhancements we've got, 6 more on there, it goes close to 50. So that with evasion is just super nice. Oh, of course we get another 2 intelligence, which is another reflex save for that evolution. So super nice place we're in with that. For the other feat, we took greater spell focus conjuration. As mentioned previously, all of our offensive spells are conjuration, so that's nice to have. We're up to the mid-40s now on that in well, for the higher level spells, for the newly acquired Multivial and the Caustic Overload, both of which are very good at clearing a group. So yes, mid-40s at this level is more than adequate, I would have said, for some good results, which you really need, because if they make their reflex save, they're taking half damage. If they have evasion, it's no damage. So you really need to be getting past that save as much as possible with these. I swapped in a Cure Critical spell because I've rejigged the enhancements this level, so we no longer had the heal from the apothecary tree. So we've gone all out in the bombard tree, and we've picked up the level 5 spell Multivial, and in addition to that we have weakening acid, so things are vulnerable to acid when we hit them once with an acid spell. We can actually take something else here. What can we take here? Which one is more important? Extra conjuration DCs? Or well, we're going to take them both eventually. I'm not sure about this. This has a a maximum caster level of 10, which we're already on to now. So it's like an AoE version of our little spell-like ability, Vials. So I'm not sure I'll even take that with a max caster level so low. I don't know about that. Obviously it would be a way to conserve spell points, but let's see. For the time being, we'll take the conjuration DCs. So that's going to boost us up towards closer 50 than 40 for our 2 signature spells, which are going to be Multivial and Caustic Overload. One thing I do miss with the apothecary spell-like ability we were using, the the inflict serious mass, the cheapness of it all, the colour spray followed by that, and it was almost unnoticeable, whereas 40 points a time for the Multivial, you do notice it. But my goodness me, you can just sit miles away if the terrain will allow, because sometimes your bottles will hit the ceiling and you have to get closer. But if the terrain will allow, you can sit literally half a map away from the targets. As long as you can see them, you can kill them. And if you target the right one, it has quite a wide AoE. You can just delete a whole group from a very safe distance. So yeah, it's a heck of an upgrade. But I do miss the because he's gone thirsty again now using this. I daren't even quicken it, because quicken takes it up to 50 spell point cost. We do have the option of lowering some of the costs in the tree, but as yet I haven't gone for that. We'll see. I mean, we've spent 9 points in these little spell-like abilities. They are still being quite useful, and that's a way to economise. Just as we were doing before, anything that sort of makes its way out of a multivial, we can greater colour spray and then go in with the little spell-like abilities. So that's still been a pretty decent target. As mentioned, I've swapped in the shield spell in the Fade Arc tree to replace the one we lost in the core of Apothecary. It becomes more important now that we've got this Burning Ambition. Extra damage when we hit an opponent and we are in Pyrite orange reaction, so it becomes more important to try to stay in there as much as we can. So I've got to be aware of the colours of some of the spells, the combination of red and yellow to make the orange. So we've got a nice mix here. We've got yellow there, we've got yellow there, these are red, and that's red. So whenever we're out of orange, we have some quick ways to get us back into it. I've got to be aware of that and try and do that. I did swap in the DR15 boots because we no longer have the stone skin spell, so we've lost freedom of movement and some armor class as well. Yeah, we're down from low 60s to high 40s now, but the DR15 is very nice, and we have what did we gain on the spell side for that? Let's have a look. Where was the stone skin? Which oh, that was the cure, of course. I think stone skin is a level 4. In fact, I know it is, and we needed a cure. It works very decently, by the way. So 150 plus out of combat, so it's more than an adequate replacement. Just costs a few more spell points, 25, so that's less than ideal, but otherwise more than an adequate replacement for that fully meted cure light we were using from a Apothecary tree. Right, I thought we could have a go at this one in the marketplace, the Newcomers. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with the skulls. If you were in a group, I'm sure you could, and single I'm sure you could too, but the thing is, the higher you put the skulls, the more mana it takes to dispatch the targets, because they obviously have more health, and we are a little bit limited for spell points chucking these multivials around at this level, so I don't want to tempt fate on that score. Hopefully what I can demonstrate here is the group clearing potential from range of the multivial. It's just insane. If you've never played an Alchemist before, prepare for a surprise. Now obviously we've gone into blue. We've used a blue spell there, so what we could do is prepare the orange beforehand by just tossing a few quick spells, and as soon as I throw another red one, we'll spike in Pyrite, so it's probably advisable to wait until we go into a contact to do that. So let's do the multivial. Come on, something. Okay. So that was just a, well, it was a crit, but it was a bog standard spell-like ability. You can see even there in the low 40s now on Reaper, and the Multivial and Caustic Overload are going up towards 50. So if I could just pick up a soul here. Okay, same thing again. Watch the ceiling. You can see there the burning ambition surrounding the target.
The door opens into an extensive system of stone caverns.
Okay, now let's just be careful not to hit the ceiling with the vials. I think there was a group there and they've just all been wasted with that. If anybody knows of a nice cheap spell the Alchemist can use to break boxes, please let me know. Because I'm missing my fairy fire from the druid. Look at that, I'm in full group from maximum safe distance, just deleted. I hope that's the shape of things to come. You don't even need to prepare them with any kind of a hold, you just hit the button and everything disappears. Obviously when they're a bit spread out like that, we have our colour spray and our caustic overload to mop up the stragglers if there's more than one.
The door opens, revealing a lush waterfront.
Just to say again, there's no metas on this. My word. Even the ones that didn't die had that burning ambition going on them. I guess this will be an optimal. There's no ceiling here, so we can demonstrate the extreme distance you can just launch this multivial from. And oh my goodness, that's just ridiculous. Let's try it again. If it worked once, it's got to work again, right? Oh. Yep. Oh my god. Now there's some giants coming here. These can be a bit problematic, can't they? Can we do them from distance?
Have set up camp in a secluded spot. You spy some kind of lever amongst the tents.
Multivial. Wow. So against single targets, we're just going to use the spell-like abilities, conserve a bit of mana. Okay, job done. So as you can see, we're a bit thirsty. We're already halfway down our bar. And yes, if somebody knows a nice cheap spell the Alchemist has to break a load of boxes, please tell me. Because otherwise, you know, we do get Melt Lock as a spell, but we haven't picked it up yet because the level 2 spells are all pretty competitive. What do we have at the moment in there? Is it level 2 in fact? No, it's level 3, sorry. So at the moment we've got Greater Heroism, Evolution for extra intelligence, and the Greater Restorative Draft, because I don't really have the UMD at the moment to cast Greater Resto, so to have that on a spell is quite valuable to me, just in case we get level drained or something. Now these things are pretty spread out, aren't they? These cats. So what can we do here? Could we maybe drag them to that group in the background? That's a bit of a mess. A bit of a mess. Oh, now they're all blind, so they're just wandering around. Yeah, that was silly. I should have just dealt with the cats first. I think we've got some... Oh, okay. Plan B. Now, are they going to come wandering out? I think they may do. Come on, then. So wherever they're at close range like that, I'll go with the Caustic Overload, which, as you've seen, is more than enough to dispatch most things. And that saves me quite a bit of mana over a multivial. Come on then. There's an argument for saying I could just go for caustic overload into a group like that. Not quite as effective as the old Multivial. Okay, let's go back to plan A. Wow, that just feels like cheating, doesn't it? So this is where we have a bit more of a challenge now, because obviously with the ceiling there, we can't get. We have to get quite close to them to do our launch.
With the magical barrier dispelled, you can now explore.
But you do see another facet of the vial throwing there. We had a little sort of upward curve, didn't we, to the path, so a standard archer might have trouble, but the arc of the bottles actually helps there, going over that to hit the target. So basically at the moment, apart from mopping up with the single target spell-like abilities, I'm getting away with just 3 spells: Colour Spray, Multivial and Caustic Overload. So if you're one of these who shies away from casters because of the supposed complexity and baffled by the range of spells, it couldn't get more simple than an Alchemist at level 12. Just trying to economise a bit and kill him with the spell-like abilities, which seems to be going well.
Guttural groan and collapses.
And we're doing alright at staying in pyrite reaction state as well. Ooh. Oh wow. Oh god. So what happened there, the back of the group started moving forward and running into the bottles thrown towards the front, which killed them all very nicely. Now here would be a good spot to use the what jump do we have? 23, which isn't amazing, and suddenly now 53 with the feathers extract. So feather fall and jump will come in very handy in this section. I notice the mana has gone down pretty low, which is not ideal. And that's one problem we do have. We can't just suddenly switch to a really lean version. We don't have the inflict serious mass to do that. So the best we could do would be to lean heavily on cure, sorry, on colour spray. What am I doing here? I just assumed I'd put the little dart on and I hadn't. Yeah, the best we could do would be to lean heavily on colour spray, and I'm going to miss that, aren't I? Nope, happy days. And go with the single target abilities, but that's going to be a bit of a pain. Or colour spray and caustic overload, and stop doing the multivial. As amusing as it is, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Those little levers can be used to turn off. You see those faces stopped blowing there. And as we have to go past those on our way to the end, that's quite a nice thing to have. You can, just as you're going past this lever, flip it again to get the ones at the end to stop. But I've found while I'm on the moving thing, it's not ideal. I just try and jump before I get blown off the platform. And before, cotton before my feathers extract runs out. That's the one downside of the feathers extract. It does have quite a short duration, and I got well and truly caught out by that there. So note to self, refresh that. It just sort of flashed into my mind, but I'd already jumped. Refresh that before we make the final leap. These platforms can be a bit clunky with when you're landing on them, especially if they happen to be moving while you're doing your jumps. You can find yourself sort of falling through them when you think you've made a good jump. Mana's now going really low. Right, refresh the feathers. There's no reason now why we shouldn't be able to get this. Happy days.
The door opens.
If I was any good at cutting and editing in the YouTube, I could have spared my blushes there. Oh. Okay. Yeah, mana is going into the critical stage, which we never would have had with the previous iteration, with the relying on the cure as the inflict serious mass. Anybody survive that? Yeah. Down to the last 100. This could get painful. Somebody dropped me a shrine. I suppose 40 spell points to delete a whole group represents reasonable value, doesn't it?
Small dwellings in the distance, but a magic barrier blocks exploration in that direction.
But now we're in trouble. There is a shrine, but it's inside there, so we're going to have to finish all that, and we're going to have to do it on Echoes of Power. There is a soul there, though, if I can just grab that. That could be worth another group going down. Come on, fire. Okay, we have 32 mana still left. It's not quite enough for a Multivial, but it is enough for a Caustic Overload. Can we get these in some kind of a cohesive unit here? What are you doing, sir? Yes, 3 mana. Optimum use of resources. So one thing to note there, when we'd gone that low, we couldn't even heal. Right. Let's have a well-deserved rest. I think you'll agree, for any of you who hadn't seen the Multivial before, it's abusively good. I mean, it's totally worth the amount of mana we are expending to cast it. But do be careful about throwing it around too much. As we've just seen there, it is quite thirsty.
This passageway has collapsed, but a hole has been excavated to give access to the hallway below.
Goodness me. That's insane. Again, here we've got to watch the roof. We're not in pyrite at the moment. Need to remedy that. You can see straight away, even if you're not paying attention to the little thing here, you can see the there's no auras surrounding the targets we hit. Oh, wrong one. Big group of opponents in here. I think we'll go with the colour spray first. And as I hit the wrong target with it, with the multivial, I went for one at the front. The back of the group survived and made that look rather more messy than it should have done.
Begins to flow towards the central
and lost us some mana into the bargain. Now, there can be some traps, some nasty force traps in and around this corner. Got some opponents immediately round the corner. Now, that didn't go very well, did it? Is it around this corner or is it around the next corner? Could be some force traps here, but we do have evasion, so hopefully if we do run into them, that will serve as well. This door is peculiar. We open this door and the enemies appear behind us, so we need to be ready for that. Hello, visitors. Colour spray certainly proved its worth there. 2 Reapers running around unchecked would not have been appreciated. Another group here. Let's go with the colour spray again. And let's try and target one closer to the middle this time. Still failed. I'm in trouble now. So I've made a miserable mess of both of those 2 groups. Okay. Not making enough use of the boosts either. Although you could argue they might be overkill the way we're going at the moment with the multivials.
An unnatural cold radiates throughout this room, which is dominated by a glowing magic device. 2 gems adorn the control panel that Alchemist mentioned.
Okay.
The gate to the west slides open, clearing the way into Dunalenthia's chamber.
Always reminds me of the old Simon Says puzzle, that, for those of you who are old enough to remember it. I think we've got something coming here. Yeah. Okay. Rest shrine, do we need it? No, I think we're okay. Only got a handful of things to go. I think it shows the overpowered nature of the stuff we're throwing around. That I don't think we've had to throw. Well, that and our crowd control. I don't think we've had to do one heal on ourselves, have we? In this quest so far. Okay, boosts on. Let's go. And while the boosts are still on, if you've not done this quest before, focus fire the Orlanthe, not the dragon. The dragon stops attacking you once Orlanthe is gone. There we go.
Releasing Dunalenthia from her magical compulsion.
And a glacial sphere. Nice for any cold caster. The equivalent in acid would have been very nice for our build as it stands at the moment. Not least because alchemists do get options in the enhancement trees. For example there, while wielding an orb, +1 MRR per alchemist level. I think there's one in each tree, so here we've got Stone of the Scholar, Healing Amp and Positive Spell Power. Is there one in the Vile Apothecary as well? Vile Chemist rather, yeah. So the Vile Chemist one is more geared towards melee and range type stuff. Okay, I think we demonstrated where we're at the moment. The seriously powerful nature of the Multivial, coupled with the seriously thirsty effect it has on the mana. We'd gone from getting to the end of quests and not really paying attention at all to the mana, to running on fumes on one or two occasions in there. But I think overall it's a good transition to make, and we're in a pretty good place. I think that was also reasonably newer content that we tried. Some of the older level 10s, Multivial is probably gross overkill with them. Things like Ataraxia or the level 10s in the Desert Sands. I would imagine nothing would survive that. Just the odd Reaper, I suppose. So yes, we're in a good place. Rock and roll, and onwards and upwards, people. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you in the next one. Take care.